Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you for the Windows 8 start screen. It's not wholly unnecessary whatsoever. It's not ugly, and it's not quite difficult to organise. Unless, of course, you know what you're doing. So any amateur, if I plonk them down in front of this desktop, they're probably going to look at it and think, this is really ugly. And of course, the start menu that Microsoft provides is quite pretty. You had all the live tiles. But the trouble with that is when you start installing normal desktop applications, they don't get live tiles. And why? Why don't they get live tiles? Is it really that hard to do? I mean, would it be so much to ask to be able to right click and change the color or size of the icon? And let's face it, there's all sorts of useful information you can put onto it. For example, if I go back to my main desktop here and I right click on that, I get a list of wonderful documents. So why isn't this appearing on the Windows Live Start screen? Why can't I make the word 2013 bigger? Why can't I right click and go on make it larger? And why can't I have sort of the Windows little icon there, maybe in the little corner with its own color scheme, and maybe some right links linking to the latest documents? Why can't I have that? Windows 8 has been so lazy with traditional Windows applications, and whenever you install a new one, it doesn't go into a nice program group like I'm seeing here. No, I had to organise all of this manually. Now, fast forward to 2 weeks where I honestly stopped caring about organising my desktop, and what we've ended up with is this mess. That's not pretty, is it? It's not organised. And there's a lot of icons there that are wholly unnecessary. For example, uninstall artifacts. About QuickTime. Why do I need to do that? I mean, if I want to uninstall something on Windows 8, I right click, I click on uninstall. Has Microsoft implied any kind of intelligent system where it says, oh, this icon says uninstall? Clearly that's not needed on the main start menu. Well, no, they've just lumped it on there and that's been it. And even worse, if you want to find a program you can't remember the name of, well, under the old Windows 7 system, you got these nice little list of folders, and all these icons were contained within these folders, and all this mess was largely hidden. So, you know, it was quite nice to be able to go into, say, GIMP and click on the uninstall icon there. That was quite useful, but it's wholly unnecessary here. But no, if you want to find an application you can't find, then there's no visual way of bringing out all programs. I mean, I move my mouse around the desktop, and yes, I've got currently running programs. That's very nice. I've got share, search, start. Start doesn't do much. It just goes back to my desktop screen. So how on earth do I find all my applications? Well, there's a hidden keyboard combination with start and Z, and then you click on all apps, and it's not. Again, it's not this nice folder structure. So much space could be saved simply by having this folder structure collapsible. I could browse through it easily then. I could go 7-zip, AGK, AMD, AMD Vision, Android SDK tools, ArcSoft Biz, BlackBerry. I could quickly scan through this list, and instead I've got to scan through these whole blocks of things. And they're not nice, easy, regular intervals either. Now, I will say one thing for it. It is at least alphabetically organised. But there's just so much stuff to distract your eye here. And when you're trying to quickly find a program group that contains the application you wanted to use in the first place, this isn't very useful. Your eyes are moving around so much on the screen. With the Windows Start menu, you had the Start menu would take about that much room where my mouse is moving, and you'd be able to sort of look down. It would be 7-zip, AGK, AMD, AMD Vision, and you'd see it all quickly at a glance, and your eyes would just naturally go down the list. You'd scroll down until you find what you want, and now you sort of got this whole range of motion. And even worse, you've got this whole separate groups. There's no nice folder structure here. You've just got a big lump of Windows Live or Windows Start buttons slapped into the front of your apps, and it's just not nice, and it's not attractive, and it's not efficient. And yeah, I know that if you know the name of your application, and I'm afraid I do have many senior moments where I sit there and go, What was the name of the application I wanted to use? I can't remember it. Well, I have to go to the start+z, then I have to click on that, then I have to start scrolling through this horrible mess. And it's not conducive to easy location of software. Now, of course, there are some good things about Windows 8 Start menu. They've expanded the ability to just type in something. So if I know my program started with power, then I'll be able to type in power and all my power stuff would turn up. And if it perhaps wasn't a program, it was a setting, then it would all appear there, and you've got files with power in, and that's all very well, and that's quite nice. That is a feature I actually like of Windows, the Windows Start menu. But the amount of maintenance it also requires is also very annoying. Every time I install an application, it just gets slapped on the desktop like this. And there's no organization, there's no structure, there's no collapsible structure. It's taking up this whole amount of real estate. It's just baffling to me why they would do that. You can't even sort of drop Camtasia down there and sort of reorganize these big blocks. There's just so little thought put into desktop users that it's annoying. And most of my machines are still desktop machines. And I have an iPad, and I've got an application called Splashtop Win8, which allows me to turn my iPad into the whole touch experience. And I admit the nice touch experience is very nice, but they still haven't put any thought into desktop applications. And again, my point is, why can't we make better use of these live tiles? Why is it just a grey tile with an icon slapped in the middle? Why don't we have the ability to quickly access the last used files? Why don't we have any kind of updating information here at all? Why do we just have these bug ugly icons slapped into our desktop? And again, it's not like Windows doesn't have these features. I right click there, I get all these wonderful file names, and I get a few extra options. And same here, sort of stop recording, pause recording, pin to the taskbar. I get options. Even with Notepad, I've got all these recently used files, and it's just really annoying, and sort of web addresses, and there's just so much stuff here that they could have integrated into the Windows Start menu, and they haven't bothered with it. They've gone, we're totally focused on touch applications, and we don't give a shit about anyone who's previously used Windows. And this bugs me, and the amount of time I've got to spend now organising this mess bugs me. It might only be 5 minutes, it might only be 10 minutes, it might even be 15 minutes, but the point is, it's an unnecessary chore I didn't have to engage in with Windows 7.